Welcome to the Investor Impact Power Talks with Vinney Chopra, where investors gather to share their insights and strategies in the world of multifamily, real estate, and beyond. Get ready to be inspired and equipped for your next level of success.
The other thing came to my mind again is brokers. See, I got my first deal in Odessa, Texas. I didn't go there. I couldn't fly there just to look at 10 units or 14 units that I bought, right? But the broker can give you everything you need. You don't need to travel. I was thinking about like the Atlanta deal. When I bought it, it looked really good to me when he said 40,000 a door, right? I said, oh my gosh, I've been trying to pay 100,000 a door. 40, get me that. Put an LOI. But then I couldn't fly there. I said, hey, Barden, could you get me somebody? I'll pay $100. And can they go to the property and get me 100 pictures? How it looks right now. Guess what? In 45 minutes, I got a call from Barden. He was at the property. He was at the property and he says, Vinney, I'm going to drop these pictures in the Dropbox. You'll get them right away. So what I'm going to say is, please also build relationships with brokers in the neighborhoods where you want to buy these multifamily or any kind of thing. So we need to be talking to brokers because a lot of people, they are not that savvy. They cannot sell 30 units, 50 units, 40 units just on their whim. They won't have the exposure. I'm talking about the owners, right? So they will talk to their broker. So property management companies, brokers are amazing. County records are amazing. All those things are great. And then, of course, if you want to, even somebody shared with me, there is a service where you could hire somebody to go around in the neighborhood and look for the grass, which is very tall grass. Take a picture, give the address, and then there is a company right away. They'll take that picture, put it on the card and mail it, to the address right away. Wow. So you took a picture, you upload it into the website, right, Dave? I don't know if you've seen that. And then it shows you the picture on the card and there is a nice message. I was driving by and I took a picture, even though you were not there. This is a service that's doing it for you. And then you try to reach the owner because they might be in trouble. If the landscaping is tall and the boarded windows are there, we could get into,
A different version of driving for dollars.
Yeah. Hey, I buy houses. Remember boards? We have seen so many of them.
Yeah, we buy ugly houses.
Yeah.
So in the profile descriptors, Vinney, in the profile descriptors of our avatar that we may be chasing down.
Yes.
A lot of times I ask even my own clients, I ask them, what's keeping them up at night?
Yeah.
What are they dreaming about?
Mm-hmm.
And what are they afraid to lose?
Uh-huh.
And if I can get the answers to those questions, it's really helpful to see what they need in that particular moment and what they've been thinking about and get it down to an emotional level.
Yes. Say that again. That was very pertinent.
What keeps them up at night?
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. What keeps you up at night?
Yes.
Really tell a lot. What stresses, strains, what's on their mind. You're right. Second one was?
The second one is, what are they dreaming about? And that's like their aspiration. What do they want to get?
Exactly, yeah.
And then last but not least, what are they afraid to lose?
Oh, boy. Wow. What they're afraid to lose. They are afraid to lose.
Yeah.
I like that. That very much. That we could ask even the investors. We can ask sellers of the properties. And we could even, if somebody's asking for some coaching or counseling, we could really help them think through their situation. Yeah.
They broke me out of my fear of talking to brokers. So I spoke with some brokers. And I was telling them the profile of the type of investment I was looking for. Actually, the broker has got property in Alameda, Vinny.
Oh, wow, right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, in our
right here.
backyard.
And
Yeah.
he's got and the owner of that property also has another property in Berkeley that's a 12-unit building that's over there.
Oh, wow.
So he's one of those kind of owners that has multiple properties and he's trying to get rid of them.
Aha. Wow. Wow. Did you get some particulars? Did you underwrite it, Daryl, yet? Or
I have not underwritten it. I haven't gotten to step 2, Vinny. So step 1.
yes, yes. But you want to definitely, as soon as you know the address of the property,
Mhm,
that's how I used to do. I'll do the crime report on it.
mhm,
I'll do the neighborhood report just to make sure.
mhm,
And then, of course, you put that address, space, oh my gosh, LoopNet. That's right.
mhm,
That way, look through what comes with the Google scam. They'll just go through all this information and
mhm,
you might find out more about the property. Even the broker won't know about it.
mhm,
I
mhm,
bought properties like that. I said,
mhm,
hey, oh my gosh, this property was out there in LoopNet 4 years back. So, or 2 years back, we know when this seller bought it and
mhm,
how much it was going for
mhm,
because the pricing is there. And then those kind of things. So doing a detective work is very
mhm,
beneficial to be able to really figure it out. What is the right price? I remember Albion property I bought for, I don't know, 8.7 million. I
mhm.
offered 6.9.
Wow.
192 units property, 192 units in Texas, in Albion properties. But then the sellers won't come on the table
Mhm.
because I was so way off, right? They won't even reply to my broker, and the broker was young. His last name was Young too. But anyway, but then I said to him, I said, you know what? I'm a broker in California. So I'll share with you 100% of zero commission. Zero is zero commission. So
Right.
let's work together. Let's figure it out. What do the sellers want? Then he was
Mhm,
able to probe into and all that. And then I increased it by 500,000, another 500,000, and bought it at, I think I bought it at 8.7 million or whatever it
mhm,
was. Yeah.
mhm.
But the thing
Fabulous.
is, you got to see what people's mind is at
Mhm,
and then come up with a good win situation, right?
mhm,
Then I took some repair credit. I know I think what you call it, the parking lot needed
mhm,
repair, and then
mhm,
no rub system. That
mhm,
was my big thing. So
mhm,
I always look at the P&Ls right away. Have they gotten the rub implemented? If not, that's a cash cow. We were making at that Albion property, I'm trying to remember now,
mhm,
laundry alone, laundry 2 laundromats were there inside the property, right? Our own laundry machines and all with the cards.
mhm,
And we were making, I don't know why I say that. I think we were making like almost $2,000 a month.
mhm,
Wow, that was a good money. That was good money.
mhm.
And then we implemented RUB system, and we were collecting now. The owner was paying $136,000
Mhm,
from their own pocket for water, trash, gas, pest control.
mhm.
And by the time we took it 1 year, we were capturing all that 134,000. Because in
Wow.
Texas, we could go up to 96% or something.
Mhm,
So we were capturing all that money,
mhm,
which is you put that into the NOI, right? The
mhm,
RUB system plus the laundry money really helped a lot in that asset. And we have
mhm,
almost done in every asset I bought, implemented those two strategies. And of course, some other ones we bought were parking lot. So selling the parking lot next to the apartment. People
mhm.
would love to pay $20 a month, $30 a month to park the car right outside where
Right.
they are grocery shopping, it's raining,
Mhm,
accessibility and all, right? So that's
mhm,
a big one. Covered parking. That's my other
mhm.
hack. Covered parking, we charge more money. Not only that, my asset manager, Patty, she passed away, but she was amazing. She's really ingrained in my mind. She says, Vinny, every unit has its own value to the customer. Wow.
Mhm.
He says,
Mhm.
if the unit is overlooking nice hill area or nice swimming pool, or it's more open in the view, you could charge more money.
Mhm.
And that's how we used to do. So we didn't have all one bedrooms will be this much. No,
Mhm.
every single bedroom was different amount.
Mm.
So we captured more and more of the revenues, and people were willing to pay. And then we did the smart homes. This is amazing what I'm going to tell you right now.
Mhm.
In the smart homes, all we did was put the thermostats, which are Wi-Fi connected, and
Mhm.
then you get it on your iPhone or Android or like that.
Mhm.
And we took the switches, plates in the kitchen and in the master bedroom, changed them to USB plugs.
Mm.
So they were regular plugs and USB for charging the phones and all.
Mm.
So
Wow.
those two things alone, plus we put the lights. Oh my gosh, I just remember now. We put the lighted faucets
Mhm.
in the bathroom. So when you turn the water on, you have seen those lights. Maybe you have seen it, right? The light comes on in the water.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
So we just implemented these few things. Didn't cost us much money, but people were willing to pay more money because
Mhm.
it was a little cutting edge. What else should we talk about? It's 5 o'clock, and we can
Question
talk
for you.
longer, or we could wrap up. Huh, Mohammed?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Please, please. Yes.
For a $14 million property, yeah, two questions actually. What do you expect if you buy it as a syndicator out of pocket?
Okay,
Uh,
very good point.
that's one question. The other one is uh, after 5 years, once you refinance, right? Let's say it's 70/30, right?
Mhm.
Can you refinance it through another syndication or you got to be through the bank?
Okay, very good point. What you said
Yeah.
is very good. For a syndication to work, you're right, splitting 70/30 is the norm usually. Now, with interest rates being high, the cash flow is very low
True,
because
yeah.
of that. So we have been giving, in my case, Princeton Park and other properties and lakes and all these, we are giving 100% of the cash flow to the investors.
Oh, really?
Yes, 100%. That's the truth. And still, we are not able to give them what we promised, expected pref rate of 7, 8, 9, 10%, right? 9, maybe highest.
Mhm.
So we are able to give as much as we have cash flow at the end of the year. We reconcile and then we give it to the investors. We are banking on the value of the property going higher. And when we refi, you cannot take a dime out of the refi as a syndicator, which I
Right.
think everybody knows, because you are increasing the mortgage payment now, because you're taking a bigger loan. So you're taking equity, which
Right.
in the original game, investors brought most of the equity in, remember?
Mhm.
So
Right.
that equity that comes out in the refi, 100% of that amount has to go back to the investors. Return of capital. Now, if the refi is larger amount than the capital, then you split 70/30. Okay, so that's something to remember right now. So anything that we do take out in the refi, because the loan is now getting bigger, because the payment is getting bigger now at the refi, because it was 8 million loan, now it's 12 million loan, for example, right? So 4 million extra equity we have taken out, we have to give it back to the investors. And it's not a tax consequence. When you return the capital of the investors, it's not a tax consequence. The tax consequence is with return on capital, not return of capital,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
So on capital is cash flow and equity gain. Those are the two things. So when we give money on cash flow, which actually most of the CPAs run commercial assets and everything, even the cash flow, right, Dave, we give back, it's return of equity somehow. I think that's another way to not pay taxes. And they just say that we are taking this cash flow is coming from the property, it's disposable income, we're going to give it back to the investors. It's the cash flow, but it's return of capital, which is reducing their capital down.
And then it has to be written up specifically in the PPM.
Yes.
Like, because different investors do different, some do return of capital first before, of course, like you said, they would be getting technically their cost basis back.
Yeah.
But that's a chance. That's the thing. Some syndicators only raise fixed financing instead of, like Grant Cardone, that's what he does with his money. He just gives a fixed interest, and that's it. You're not an equity partner. It's a loan. Which is odd because it's a different way to syndicate. But I think that's why he does such big funds. I think he's raising money in the fund. He's not buying specific assets. You would understand.
Sure. Yeah. In the fund,
right?
It's like the pool of money from the investors is coming in, then the fund is purchasing different assets. So what's the difference between syndication and a fund? Syndication is one deal at a time. Fund is many deals with one syndication. Okay, that's the difference. So the paperwork is the same for one property, but in fund, because it's got more business plan and other stuff and all that, it's a little bit more expensive to do the legal paperwork and all that. Mostly people charge $20,000 for putting the legal paperwork together for the fund and charge only $12,500 as comparison for just a single syndication. Now, I have done in the past where I've done 2 properties syndication. So in other words, the investors came in a dual LLC, and that LLC bought 2 properties, which we already specified. We knew, like Atlanta deal, I bought the one villas at Autumn Hills and villas at Riverside. They were my names, but they were different property names. I always changed their names, new LLCs, new excitement, new everything, right? So that was 2 properties bought specifically. Brokers, my investors knew about it. I raised 4 and 4 million, 8 million, done. Then I did try in Texas. So I knew 3 properties. We bought them together in a syndication. It was a fund, but the fund was only one syndication to buy 3 properties. Grant Cardone, like David is saying, is that they are raising millions of dollars, 100 million, let's say. Now they got so much money that they could buy this property and this property and this property. So that's the fund. That's the fund. But in the fund, you could structure in the PPM debt equity, Dave, like you said, he's giving only 10%. And you could do another level of shares, equity investors. So debt investors and equity investors within the same PPM. I did it actually in Monil Multifamily Fund. I did it like that. Nobody took the debt. So they didn't want to take that 10% debt and not take the upside. Most of the people psychologically want to also get the profits when the price of the property goes up, right? When we sell it. So preferred rate of a little bit lower, 7-8%, and then getting another 10% or 8% more of per year of equity gain. That makes it 16, 18%, 16, 18. But Mohammed, you asked me one more question, brother. You said we are buying. Now you are doing another syndication to buy this out or something.
To refinance the 70%, usually through the bank, right?
Yes, always.
Always. Can you do it through
bank money is the cheapest money. Why do I say that? Oh,
it's expensive, actually.
The reason is bank will even at 9%. Bank money, 9% is much cheaper than 16% if I raise from my investors.
Okay. So you think it's better to go to the bank than to raise it from more investors? But as I see it, I mean, you're already giving them 8% simple interest. The bank will charge you compound interest. Here.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
but you've
simple
given them
interest too.
70% of equity too. Your investors are getting
Right. 70%, yeah.
No, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I'm so glad, Muhammad, you're bringing it up. It's a good thing to talk about. See, the debt from the bank or family office or a lending or insurance company or HUD loan, hold on. HUD loans have always been in 2.5, 2.75, 3% range, right? Housing and urban development loans, government loans. But then those are so less. 4%. I have loans right now on Princeton Park. The one I'm selling, I think it's 3.89%. What? And
That's
it's
good.
got another 7 more years left.
Wow.
So I got that loan from Freddie Mac, which is a government branch, by the way. Freddie and
Mhm.
Fannie are the two loan where they sell the paper into the market, and then they have the insurance to back it up and all that. So Freddie Mac, that loan, see, if I were to raise that 20 million that I took a loan, Muhammad, at 3.789%, if I
Still
bought
cheaper.
much cheaper, brother. And
Mm,
I'm giving my investors 14% returns in that property.
right.
So it's much better to get a loan from the seller financing at 5%, 6%, 7%, whatever it is, or from the institution.
Okay. For the 14 million property, my question was how much I expect from out of pocket to
Oh,
spend to be ready for it. It's
okay,
14
very
million
good point.
property.
33%. 33% out of your pocket will be less, but I would say
Like how much?
third
Yeah,
of
about
40 million, 1/3 of 40 million is 12 million. So you will need to raise about 11 and a half, 12 million. Maybe Dave might have different thinking because I like to charge acquisition fee. I'm putting the deal together. I'm going to be on the loan, everything, even 3% total, let's say 1.5 acquisition, 1.5 loan guaranteeing. Usually in the last 7 years, we've been charging 4%. So 2% is the acquisition due diligence fee, finding the deal, sweat equity, all that. 2% is the putting your name on the neck on the mortgage.
So
When
that's
qualifying,
6.
Hmm?
So that's 6% so far.
No, 4. 2 and 2.
Oh, 4%.
2 and 2.
All of it.
2 and 2.
That's
So,
out of pocket you have to spend.
okay, wait a minute. From the out of
Uh,
pocket, Muhammad, listen to this one.
that's different. Yeah.
Only $1,000. Not even
Really?
that 100.
That's
Not
good.
even 1,000. My last
Oh,
sales programs, $100.
really? How could that
Yeah.
be?
See, the thing is, you got to learn the business correctly. Our
Right.
investors, when they
That's
give
why
you
I'm asking you.
100,000, huh?
That's why
Thank
I'm
you.
asking you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that's the truth. That's the real
Yeah.
truth. Because what happens is Gene Trowbridge taught me right. He's the father of syndication. Kim Lisa Taylor taught me right. Dugan Kelly taught me right. All these syndication attorneys and Dave Lindahl, I give credit to him. He taught me right. He says, Vinny, never compromise what you're doing in your business. You are working for 6 months and you're trying to talk to so many brokers. You are underwriting. You're finding the lender. You're finding the deal. You're from out of 50 to 100 to 200, you might find one deal. You
Right.
have to run your household. He says, you got to feed the family, all that, right? So those expenses are that 2% acquisition fee. So when I buy a $40 million deal, I get 1.4 million payday that day. Literally, that's what I've been doing. And everybody knows it. I'm not saying anything wrong, but some investors, some syndicators charge 3%, some charge even, they're early on in the business and they say, let me just get 1% even, right? But you have to see where you can stand, right? The other part is You said how much money out of my pocket?
That's correct.
$100 or $1,000 maximum, because
Is that for a 14 million property?
yeah, 40 million also.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's
The
good.
reason is, I'll tell you why. Because you are raising money, $12 million or 11 and a
Oh.
half.
Right.
Out of that, you will pay for earnest money. Out of that, you're going to pay for $12,000, $500 for legal fee. Out of
Right.
that, you're going to pay all the expenses of travel and going there, all that stuff, right? But the investor, they gave you 100,000. Do you take money out of their pocket?
You
No,
can't.
no. You
Yeah.
give them 100,000 back plus the returns on 100,000. So
Right.
they never have to pay for your fees. It comes from the property. It comes with the equity built in it and the value add you're going to bring to the property. That's how it is. David, yeah, please.
Yeah, I think, Mohammed, you might have missed what. So if you're buying a $12 million asset and you
14.
okay, $14 million asset,
14 or 40.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh my God.
14. Sorry.
14 divided by
1-4.
3. 14,
Yeah.
1, 4 divided by 3. Then you need
So-
only 3 point some million then. Yeah.
but besides the 14 million, all of those costs are going to be on top of the 14 million. So you might actually come out of closing where it's an acquisition of 14.8 million or 15.1 million is the
Right.
total acquisition. And the equity piece, like Vinney was saying, if you took 100,000, somebody gave you $100,000, you would have a lot of people giving you 100,000 if you did an acquisition that size. But that 100,000, they get 100% equity of that 100,000. So the money that you're raising in addition to the 14 million is to cover all your expenses. If you're doing a loan, if you're sponsoring a loan, that's 2%. Your acquisition fee, that's 2%.
Right.
And of course, the general partners, if they both have to put their name on the line, they divide that money, those fees.
Yeah.
It's sometimes that's where I talk about creative financing. It's not that the seller doesn't get money or that you're not taking conventional financing. It's if one of the things that I like, especially with smaller properties, is if I can get a bank loan in place where the seller gets the money they want, and if the seller carries a certain amount of that paper and I don't have to raise money as a syndication, then I end up with 100% of the deal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I say it could be me and partners.
Yes.
I
yes.
prefer that method. Why? I'd rather have the 70% in my pocket than,
Totally.
but I've learned from Vinney in that it doesn't matter. I'd rather have 30% of something than to have 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
but,
That's so true. So true.
same idea apply not only for multifamily, for any other business, right?
Right. Well, businesses have that unique spin that they have assets, and in many cases, if you buy the business as a going concern, you also can purchase their cash. You can purchase all of it, inventory, all of that can be encompassed in the real estate into the acquisition, to where the seller walks out of closing with the money they want, but they're deferring taxes with the portion that they finance to you. And a lot of times, so it's just using bank money. My point is, the bank money is not the only way, but Vinney said it's probably the least expensive money you can get your hands on.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the good debt. See, that's what Robert
good debt.
Kiyosaki, he talks
Right.
about,
Good that makes money. Yeah.
for sure. And not
Yeah.
only, Muhammad, the percentage is lower, banks will not come and say, give me the capital gain, a portion. I gave you 70% of the loan, right? Of the property value, I gave you loan, and now you have made so much money, give me my portion of the equity gain. No, that portion of the equity gain stays with the investors and you, which is only 30% of the equity, but you get 100% of the gain.
Correct.
So it's a mind-boggling thing. Why real estate is so popular in USA and across the world? It's because of that. It's because of the leverage. And then the effect of taking property at a price over here, NOI, we call NOI, net operating income. And then you do value add, increasing rents, RUB system we talked about today, parking lots, all that, upgrading the units, all that, right? Our property in Austin, Texas, we are in a litigation right now. We bought it in COVID, June of 2020, 3 years back only, we bought it. June of 2020 for $34,750,000. And the buyer last year gave us $64 million for it. 34 to 64, $30 million increase in 3 years. Of course, they gave us the money and all, then the market went down and all that stuff, whatever happened. They didn't want to close on that, but still it's worth from 34,750. I would say it's worth about 57 million still.
So if I like a property with 14 million, let's say, just close on, I mean, sign a contract and go for syndication immediately.
Okay, now good
Right?
point. Yeah, Muhammad, the thing is that's
I mean,
why.
it looks very.
Oh, it got cut off.
You muted yourself accidentally.
Yeah, the sound
He muted himself.
muted
Your
him.
mute
Yeah,
button is on.
yeah, you just,
There you go.
okay, now you're back. Yeah. No, go ahead, Muhammad. Yeah, no, you're fine. No, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
So what you
Oh, he
said
can't
was,
hear. He's saying.
should I sign the contract from what I heard last?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear.
I can hear.
Yeah,
What's
you
going
said
on?
like,
Something wrong here.
should I sign the contract and now raise money?
Don't
Very
do that.
wrong. Very
Okay.
wrong. You got to be talking to investors before you sign the contract, brother.
Raise the money first, right?
Yeah, get soft commitments.
Right.
That way you are priming the pump, I call it, right? You cannot raise all 3 million very quickly. You cannot, even if you try, unless you have some investor who's got deep pockets and they're going to write on the loan, co-sponsor and give you the money, right? The down payment and all that. But that's why we teach that. You make sure that you are getting your list ready. All these top people who will give you first money are the people in your Rolodex, the people that know you, trust you, your family members, your cousins, your aunts, your neighbors. They are the ones who will really give you money. My one student, Danny was just posting, they raised $3.6 million just now for the syndication in California. I'm very proud of them. And they were having a little bit hard time. I met with them maybe about a month back. Yeah. And then I gave them few ideas, not too much. And they just went on it and they raised 3.2 million. And now they're closing the deal. They were able to really do really nicely. Anyway, but the thing is, Muhammad, that we need to do two things together. You got to get the investors going on the one plate and then the deals in the other plate. Those are the two big plates we have to spin.
Now, the seller is looking for a solid commitment all the time. They want you to sign a contract if you like the property. And then it's just, you have to know what, you have to raise the capital and then go there. And the contract is just, it's a big money, 14 million.
So true. 14 million, you don't want to sign the contract or nothing unless you know if you can qualify for the loan. That's the other equation that we didn't talk about. We talked a little bit about it. You know, how can you close on that $14 million deal is if you raise 3 million minimum, maybe 3.5, you qualify for a loan for about 10 million. Somehow you're going to get that money from the bank. And then you have investors. So it's a 3 plates. 2 plates are the bigger plates. One is the investor plate is the biggest plate. Investor plate is the biggest. Then the broker plate, you already have the deal looks like. So you have that, you underwrite it, you make sure everything is good and everything, but then you say, who's going to give me the loan? Is the seller going to finance you, or you have to go through a different broker like Mark Pena? I brought Mark here into our coaching. He's a good guy. I talked to him today, even from Meridian Capital, or Bo Eckstein, my partner. I do show with him on Fridays. He's a loan broker also, commercial. He's doing really well, just blossomed in this last year and a half. And then franchises too. He does that. Yeah. No, so summarize, I know we are about 5 minutes left. The key thing is we got to be looking for the opportunities, of course. We need to be good at how to underwrite it and how to raise money. If those two spinning of the plates are not there, and we are not really looking into this very sincerely, then it's hard to syndicate. That's the final result, right? Dave, any last comments? Or Daryl, any last comments? Or Stephen? Yeah.
Oh, we've gone through a lot of it. This is good stuff. Next time, though, you brought up at the very beginning about you had to work with the bank. I'd like to hear more about things that you do, how you set it up.
I would
Where
love
you-
to. Love
Yeah,
to.
that would
Oh
be-
my gosh. We've been going crazy with these lenders. I'd love to show you. I just actually put together for my investors of Palm Bay, right? Dave's backyard right there. We are having heck of a time, because we put 7.2 million already. We built the structure 33%. And now we are trying to get money from the bank that said they will give us the money. They walked away. And now we are dealing with so many. So I would love to, Stephen, you would be able to get in my shoes, what Vinney's doing, and just talking to so many people, man. Oh my God. 7, 8
How does a
lenders.
bank walk away once you have an approval? You're now in the middle of construction. They just don't care.
No, what happened, Dave, was they approved it to us. Approval happened, but the lady left. The lady, Susan Mauer, who gave us Punta Gorda loan from Axiom, she also went to Waterfall Bank, is the bank, by the way. They approved it, but we didn't have permits to build on yet. So she approved it within a week. But then when we got the permits about a month and a half later, she had left the bank. What? Then the new guy came, he started all over again. He says, how did we approve it? What did she look at? This, that,
That's
all that.
interesting in itself, that a bank's employee can make a deal and the bank can back out of it because that person's not there anymore.
Look at that. Yeah, this was mind-boggling to us. Banks can do anything, brother. They can do anything. I mean, it's just ridiculous how they can dictate you. And then we talked to the president also. I had several meetings for 1 year. Are you ready? They lingered on. Oh yeah, we're going to approve you. And here we started building and everything. Then they come in the last hour. Oh, we had a participating bank. They said they don't want to give the loan. So they were two banks together. In the first part, it was only one bank. And they never told us there was a participating bank. So this was a cop-out. And that really hurt us. So that's where we are, 33% built. We are trying to get loan at 12.5%. Guys, are you ready? 12.5% to build and be done with it. But we need $12 million loan. $12 million loan to finish.
If you have 70% syndication, you raised.
No, we
The bank
raised
doesn't have
already.
a-
We raised the money,
Okay.
brother, already.
Uh,
That's what we used the money to buy, to build it, 7 point some million.
But any bank could approve you if you have 70% raised.
Oh yeah, 70%.
Yeah, they hope you
No, we
default.
never
If you
can
got
raise 70%.
you got 70% of the money, they hope you default.
Yeah, yeah.
They want that property.
No, we have zero loan on the property.
No, I meant if you brought $100,000 for $1 million loan, and they only had to loan you $300,000 for that property. They hope you default. They
Oh
want.
yeah, oh
they
yeah.
make,
And get the property, yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we built Merritt Island. Merritt Island is doing great. 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away. So we are telling our lenders that, hey, we're going to do the same implementation of getting people to tour the Merritt Island facility, and it'll be for Palm Bay and all that. And we found one right here in my backyard, 20 minutes away. My Orlando broker found. So Brett, I'll have lunch with him when I come back, and he wants to give us money. It's a family office, and I think 12%, 11.99 or 10.99, 2 points, which is not bad. Hopefully our, things will be going fine. Thank you so much, guys. It was great.
Thanks.
And
Thank
look forward
you.
to next week. And Dave, look forward to seeing you day after tomorrow or tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Yeah.
See you there.
And
Okay.
Stephen, I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
And great.
Noon
Yes,
time
sir.
or
Have a
so.
good day.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you for
Have a
joining
good day.
today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye, everybody. Sure.
That's all for this episode of The Investor Impact. Stay tuned for the next episode and don't miss out on the opportunity to learn and grow alongside this powerful inner circle.